Did you know you can eat healthy without giving up flavor or fun? I didn't know that until I discovered Washington Red Raspberries. They're a clean, simple, and seriously delicious way to add more nutrition to your day. American grown by American farmers, picked at peak ripeness, and frozen within hours to lock in nutrients like fiber, antioxidants, and vitamin C. Washington Red Raspberries have no added sugar, just fruit, as nature intended. I love eating a handful as a snack throughout my day, and if I'm feeling fancy, I'll swirl some into yogurt or top off a salad. They're such a great summer treat. I won't gatekeep this anymore. Frozen Washington Red Raspberries are one of the best kept secrets in the freezer aisle, and make sure to look for Product of the US on the bag. Want to discover new ways to use American frozen red raspberries and get more details on where you can grab a bag of these delicious berries? Go to redraz.org. That's redrazz.org. You'll find recipes, health tips, retail locations, and everything you need to make frozen Washington red raspberries a regular part of your routine. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Krafchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hey friends, welcome to Brunch Talk, where we try to solve your everyday dating conundrums.
There is never a shortage of dating conundrums that come through, including the one that we have today, which is all too common in today's world.
And what could that be? It's, what do I do if they aren't ready to commit?
Oh, we've heard this one before, but for more context of this specific listener, I met a man on Hinge and we've been dating for 3 months. I really like him and know he's a good guy, but he has a past where he was strung along for 20 years and is hesitant to commit. He's been single for 2 years and recently started dating. Things are going well and I've developed strong feelings and recently addressed the fact that he's dating other people. He said I'm the most interesting person he's met and he thinks about me constantly, but he's not ready to commit. How should I handle the situation? Should I cut him off, set boundaries like avoiding physical intimacy, check in after a month, or date others while figuring things out?
If someone says they're not ready to commit to you, it means they're not ready to commit to you. And there's nothing you can do to make them commit to you, whether that's cutting them off physically or seeing other people, which is all going to make you miserable. So my question back to you is, what is the ideal relationship you're looking for? And is this person able to meet that? And if they're not, that's your answer.
If there's one thing I could do differently in my dating life, it would be to take people at face value.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to grab onto words like he was saying that you're the most interesting person he's met or whatever other compliment is putting out there. But again, it comes back to what are you looking for? And we're guessing you want commitment if you wrote into us about this. If you don't and you're fine with things playing out, then by all means do you. And of course, even if we're saying this, sometimes you need to just let it play out.
Right.
That being said, as people that maybe have stayed a little longer in situations when someone blatantly said they did not want a relationship, which I've been there before, the time did not help. Like they still didn't want to be in a relationship. And I think it would have been much more serving to me from the sense of it's easier to build a relationship with someone that also wants that, but also like the fallout of the challenges that it caused for my self-esteem and worthiness wounds and stuff like that. There's a lot more at stake than just time. It's the energy in general and the way that it's impacting your dating and mental health.
Absolutely. Your question already is geared towards this person. It's not about what you want. It's about what would it take to make them commit to you. You've already relinquished control to this other person. And we're begging you to take that control back because this is your life. It's not their life. When someone says they're not ready for something, they're definitely not ready for something, no matter how fucking amazing you are.
I think it's so easy to get attached to their story that it's circumstantial. Like this, he was strung along for 20 years and now he's hesitant to commit. I've also been there before with an ex-partner, the on again, off again, that I was like, well, as soon as he gets his stuff in order, like I'll just wait around till that happens.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as someone that had a history of doing what you're proposing. And that's why I think we feel strongly of like, put yourself at the forefront. I think what we're not hearing here is what do you want? It's all about their circumstances and what's going on for them. And while, yeah, that sucks that he was strung along for 20 years, like no one's going to debate that. At the end of the day, is that your problem? Is that
right
going to get in the way of like you being with someone and having the relationship you want?
Everyone comes with a backstory. That does not excuse poor behavior. Also, it doesn't excuse someone from not meeting your needs. We can all come with a backstory and then we can excuse ourselves out of everything. No, that's not how life works. I think the backstory helps you have empathy for someone and understanding for someone, but it also gives you an opportunity to say, do I want this person in my life? Am I allowing this type of behavior in my life? That's still up to you. And it's not up to their story to dictate what you are able to allow in your life. So we're asking you again, take back the control. Can you separate the story from your needs? What is it that you need right now?
I mean, I think the other thing that was mentioned here is that you have been dating for 3 months. That is a solid amount of time. It's not nothing. I think I would have different advice for someone, maybe if they had only been like a month, a couple dates in. But if this is someone like you're seeing consistently and they're still showing these signs of being afraid to commit or not wanting to commit or outright saying that they're still dating other people when they know you want more, then that's something to take into account too. I would say first and foremost, have you had the direct communication with this person? It sounds like you have, but sometimes it's important to like check ourselves and make sure that we are being direct with what we want and not just like kind of playing into what we think they want.
That's such a good point. Have you actually asked for a more of a commitment? Or were you beating around the bush, asking questions like, so are you still on the apps? So are you still seeing other people? Without directly asking, can you give me more of a commitment? Can we
Yeah.
be something more? And the other person won't know what it is you're asking unless you directly ask them what that is. So that's a very good point, Julie. And also knowing that, are they going in the direction of where you want them to go? Or are they just like stagnant, hanging out on this island of like, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not ready for commitment. And I don't see myself being ready for a commitment. Then you know you're not going to get them off the island. But if they're swimming towards you, maybe there is some opportunity there.
So I would say to this person that's like, should I cut them off, set boundaries, like avoiding physical intimacy, date other people? All that's doing is playing games and not being direct with what you want.
Yep.
You're thinking you want the commitment, but you're doing the opposite actions. Like you're withholding a relationship with someone you want to be in a relationship with. That seems like just counter to everything here. We describe this as behaviors of relationship chickens, something that we talk about at length in our upcoming book. But how much better is it to have that direct conversation so you know where you stand instead of playing these games that are just moving you further from the relationship you want?
Ugh, so been there. I still remember the guy I was pining after in New York who was not ready to commit. The night before we were going on a date, I set a date with this other guy who I knew was very much into me. Because I was like, you know what? If he's not ready to commit, I'm going to show him. I'm going to date all these other people. Here's a guy who's willing to date me. So I go on this date with this guy, end up sleeping with him, and felt terrible about myself because the whole time I wanted to be with the other guy.
Yeah.
And the next day I had this date with this other guy where all these feelings came out. And he was like, where did this come from? I had no idea you even felt this way. Little did he know that I had puppeteered this entire series of events. He had no idea what was going on. And I just ended up feeling like shit the whole time, trying to empower myself, to be the one like, if he's not ready to commit, I'm going to see other people. Well, it just made me feel more empty than anything else. And I can guarantee you that's probably what's going to happen. When you play games, you just feel empty.
And he didn't care. He also didn't care that you were on a date with someone else.
No, certainly did not.
Well, I want to go into more of like what this listener can do. But before we do, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors.
As summer winds down, I'm all about refreshing my wardrobe with staple pieces for the season ahead. And Quince nails it with luxe essentials that feel effortless and look polished, perfect for layering and mixing. Their styles are so versatile, I find myself reaching for them time and time again. Think chic cashmere and cotton sweaters starting at just $40, washable silk tops, which I have many of, and classic denim pants. And the best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. My current most favorite piece from Quince right now is a button-down linen shirt. I have the matching pants to go with it. Such a great transitional piece, perfect for summer nights right now, and then well into the fall. Elevate your fall wardrobe essentials with Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DATEABLE.
So you've heard our stance. Do not play these games. All these tactics are not going to get you to where you are. I think first things first, like we said, have a conversation. Don't put it in the terms of like, what are they looking for? Lead with what do you want? Lead with what's going well in this relationship. Like, I think it is a good sign that, that he has said that like you're the most interesting person he's met and thinks about you constantly. All that is positive, but it's also not enough. So I think leading with the positive and how connected you feel and all that, but you need to take it to the next level is reason for him to be like, okay, am I prepared to lose all this? Or is this something I'm willing to like put my heart on the line for? And I think not only will you get clarity about your situation with him and like DTRing, but you'll also get clarity of like, is this person willing to take some risks? Are they willing to like let the past go? Like, yeah, again, it sucks they were strung along for 20 years, but that was 20 years ago. And 2 years, it sounds like they've been single. So like at some point, there needs to be like a path forward, and we can't just dwell in the past either.
I had to chuckle a little bit because I thought about how this guy who was strung along for 20 years, who could not communicate his needs for 20 years, is now putting you in a position where you're not communicating your needs. And then your behaviors will probably trickle down to the next person that you date, where then they don't feel comfortable communicating their needs. It's a cycle that needs to be disrupted at some point. Just because he went through it does not mean that you need to pay your dues and put yourself in the same situation. So you can actually look at his story and be like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be strung along for 20 years and not be able to communicate that I'm looking for something more.
It is wild when you say it that way, but true.
So yes, take the matters into your own hands. People need to be set up to have the opportunity to meet your needs. Give him the opportunity to meet your needs. And if he can't, that's nobody's fault.
No.
It's just the way it works. And then you have the opportunity to walk away because this person was not able to meet your needs. But if they do come back and say, I'm not there yet, but I am working towards that, I think that is something to look at and to really think about. And I think that there's value in that. But even if someone says, I'm working on it, ask for specifics.
Yeah.
What are we doing to work on it? What
Right.
are the next steps? What is the plan? You can't just say, I'm working on it, because that could mean anything.
And have a timeline. I think we're so like afraid of like giving an ultimatum, but it's just being clear, like letting this person be clear of what's going on for you. I don't think that's too much to ask. Like if they say like, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it, I think putting in a time frame of 2 months or 3 months, whatever, and then you check back in, and with the goal being like, by then we will be exclusive, is totally valid and not too much to ask. And if they're unwilling to do that, that also says a lot.
Oh, yes.
I mean, ultimately, we hope it works out for you by having these more clear conversations, and hopefully this person can get over their past shit that has nothing to do with you, and you guys live happily ever after. But if that doesn't happen, I think this is still a really good experience to one, practice stating what you want, not playing these games, and also really promising that you are meeting good men. I think
Mhm.
every time when we have these situations that aren't like quite relationships, but they feel like they're getting closer with people we could envision ourselves with, it means that we're on the right track and we're on the right path. And if it's not him, it's going to be someone else. Part of finding your person is clearing out when it's someone shows you they can't be your person. I will always go back to that story before I met my partner of this guy that I was really into that just could not make time to meet up. And by clearing him out is when I met someone that absolutely could prioritize a relationship. So I think that is so important and often a missing step. And what gets us into trouble is when we stay with people that are blatantly not meeting our needs and not at the same level of commitment that we desire.
Absolutely. And we walk through this step by step in our book, actually, How to Be Dateable, coming out in January, where we tell you, like, what are the ways to find clarity in getting what you need and also investing in the right people. There's so many people that we are not investing
Yes.
the time in, and then we're investing time in the people who aren't giving us what we need. So there are people who come into our lives like this guy for a purpose because they're there to help us gain clarity on what we need so that when we do find someone who is able to meet those needs, it's like an aha moment. Because you're like, oh, yes, that's what it feels like
Yeah,
to be with someone who's meeting my needs.
absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we were able to unpack this one a bit. Again, so many people come with this question, and I feel like that 3-month mark is always that time.
Yes.
It's not a sure thing that's when you're going to DTR, but it's that moment that you're like, we've been dating for a bit now.
Yes.
I'm kind of ready for something more.
Great question. Get those questions in. You can email us, hello@dateablepodcast.com. You can DM us on Instagram @dateablepodcast is a handle, or the best way to do it is what this listener did, is leave us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, and in the body of your review, you can ask the question there. And when we see it, we will bump it up to the top of the list.
Yep. And if you're on Spotify, just leave that rating because you can't leave a physical review, and email us and we will honor them. Honor code. We believe in you, Spotify listeners.
We trust you. Pre-order our book, howtobedateable.com. That's how you can pre-order. We'll give you a
Yes.
more step-by-step way of getting out of these like spirals that we tend to
Mhm.
fall into in modern dating.
Absolutely.
See you all next week.
Bye.